What's up, guys, and welcome back to Thomas Reacts here on the 360 experience with myself, Thomas Mabaso. So, guys, ever since the EFF, the Economic Freedom Fighters, celebrated their 10-year anniversary at FNB Stadium, there have been a lot of controversies. There have been a lot of things that people have been saying, a lot of things. This comes after the Julius Malema and his party and his supporters went on stage and chanted the controversial "kill the Boer, kill the farmers" chant. And after that, we saw John Steenhuisen coming out with a statement via video saying that he is going to take Julius Malema to the courts. He's going to take Julius Malema to United Nations Human Rights Council because he believes that the South African system is not actually working on his favor. Because we know that they previously took Julius Malema to court about this whole thing, but the courts told them that the case it's not hate speech. So we also saw a lot of leaders from various parties such as Freedom Front Plus and ACDP actually condemning Julius Malema about singing the song. So finally, Julius Malema yesterday and the EFF, they had the chance to do their closing press conference. They were closing their 10th anniversary with this press conference. So Julius Malema had a chance to respond to people who were saying all these sort of things about him. So what really caught my attention was when he was talking about Elon Musk, Helen Zille, John Steenhuisen, and Adrian Basson. So guys, right here we are going to look at Julius Malema responding to people who said all kinds of things about him.
In line with what I said, you are the most stupid lawyer I've ever met. If I was your client, I would have fired you. He was fired. I saw some McG wannabe, one of these podcast people who failed with a very low followers, for so his relatives only that are following him. He says, I must educate Elon Musk. What is that? No, the one on Twitter. Elon Musk. I must educate Elon Musk. Why must I educate Elon Musk? He looks like an illiterate. The only thing that protects him is his white skin. Elon Musk wants to learn about this song. The records are there in court. Let him go and read the judgment. Let him go and listen to my arguments in court. I argued successfully and paralyzed the grandchild of Oppenheimer.
I know there were people who were a bit confused about what and who is Julius Malema talking about. Julius Malema was actually talking about this guy that you are seeing on your screen. His name is Penuel Mlotshwa. I must say that he's one of my favorite podcasters because of the type of content that he makes. But here, I also felt like Penuel was a bit out of order because when he said like Julius Malema should have taught Elon Musk about this whole case, about this whole song. I'm saying this because I believe that Elon Musk is not stupid. I believe that Elon Musk is not an idiot. Because if Elon Musk was really interested in knowing about what's happening with this whole kill the Boer, kill the farmer chant, he would have just told his assistant to maybe do a bit of research and find out what South African courts are saying, or maybe do a bit of research and find out how the song is contextualized by Africans in South Africa. So by saying that Julius Malema should have taught Elon Musk, I don't believe even Julius Malema is right by saying that he doesn't have time to teach Elon Musk because the court records are there. So it makes me question, it begs a question like why would Elon Musk go out there and say that the EFF and Julius Malema, they are inciting a white genocide in South Africa? I mean, like, this guy, this is one of the reasons why he bought Twitter. This is one of the reasons why Elon Musk bought Twitter, was because he wanted to combat fake speech. But we saw it this weekend when Elon Musk was using the same Twitter to spread misinformation about what's been happening in South Africa. This is why a lot of South Africans have been angry to him. That is the same reason why I said Elon Musk is not stupid. He knew exactly what he was doing. So sometimes people like Penuel, they just deserve to be criticized. Sometimes you don't even have you don't even have to correct him, because I think everybody knows that if Elon Musk really wanted to learn about what's been happening in South Africa, he would have asked one of his thousands assistants to help him understand what's been happening in South Africa. But what did he do? He chose to spread misinformation with his accounts that has millions and millions of followers. And because even this misinformation, it ended up on CNN and it ended up on Fox News. But in terms of CNN and Fox News, I'm not really surprised about that, because it's their specialty, spreading misinformation and making people fight each other. It's what they specialize in. But I was really disappointed to see Elon Musk with his big account tweeting such recklessly, and Penwell coming to say that Julius Malema should have taught Elon Musk about this whole thing. Like, Elon Musk, he knows. If he really wanted to know what's happening in South Africa, he would have just asked one of his assistants to do a bit of research for him. So I believe that this criticism, Penwell deserves it. He deserves it right now.
And said to him, if I were AfriForum, I was going to fire you from this case. When they did an appeal, they fired him. In line with what I said. I said, you are the most stupid lawyer I've ever met. If I was your client, I would have fired you. He was fired. So what a failed a podcast, this unemployed
I remember one of the funniest things that Julius Malema said was like, if I say kiss the bull, you would be offended, because the idea of a black man kissing a bull actually infuriates you. So you're still gonna be offended either way. So it doesn't matter whether I say kill the bull, kill the farmer, or kiss the bull, because even if I say kiss the bull, you will still be offended because of the idea of a black man kissing a bull.
Of creative people who go and just take cameras and then do flopped podcasts, imitating McG, faking it. McG is still going to outshine them because of their fraudulent mentality. Copycats. Says I must educate Elon Musk. Refer Elon Musk to YouTube. There is a full clip of the court appearance on that matter.
Yeah.
Where it was canvassed in a neutral court of law and a judgment was made. This matter is closed. We have no time for nonsense. Racist.
And people like Elon Musk, I don't know what he would benefit from actually hating South Africa right now. Because what he's doing is he's hating South Africa. You guys have to understand that this is one of the richest men in the world. This guy owns Twitter. So I believe all his tweets are boosted. So whenever he tweets something, it makes headlines. So why would someone with such account go out there and spread such misinformation? Why would he do that? Why would he do that? It makes no sense. Why would Elon Musk go out there and hate South Africa with his lies? Because what he's saying is lies.
Want to march into our offices. Ne? This is it's not a playground here. It's a revolutionary house. That's why I told John Steinesen that you're a small boy. The EFF is not ANC. Let John try those things he has been doing of marching to ANC offices. He must come and try it here.
Actually, they did. While the CIC was busy with his presentation. They actually came because there were a couple of white guys who went to the EFF headquarters. Apparently, allegedly, these guys were armed, and they wanted just to get in where the CIC was doing a press conference. So guys, I'm trying to find a video of that so that I can show you. What really took place there. Because I find it strange that why would you go to EFF's headquarters and armed. Why would you go to EFF's headquarters armed? Saying that you want to see the CIC or something like that. I mean, this is exactly what Kalnias was talking about. This is exactly what Kalnias was talking about yesterday, when he said like the white minorities are allowing people like John Steenhuisen to use their fears against them, because some of those guys they got slapped, and I wanted to play that video, but I don't really actually want to play it anymore, because I don't want a YouTube strike, because it's quite violent. So those guys, they went to EFF's headquarters armed, trying to barge in to where the CIC was giving his speech. You have to understand that these are the people that listen to John Steenhuisen. But why did they go there from the first place? Because now the EFF supporters and its staff members, they had to defend themselves. And those guys, they got their asses kicked. So this is what Kalnias was talking about. Like, why would white people allow such an illiterate guy like John Steenhuisen to use their fears against them? We know that there's never been any linkage of the chant with any murderer, even during the apartheid. These are the things that Thabo Mbeki spoke about. These are the things that Peter Mokaba spoke about. That when we chant, kill the boy, kill the farmer, so because the system was run by apartheid, was run by oppressive Boers, that's why they used the word Boers. They didn't mean it that literally people must go out there and attack the Boers. But when they talk about killing the Boers or killing the farmer, they were actually talking about killing the oppressive system that is run by the Boers. But these are the kind of people who are actually refusing to listen when we tell them these things. Now they go to the EFF headquarters and they almost got hurt. It's fortunate that those people, they were not hurt, because I can't even imagine what the headlines would be if maybe one of those people were seriously injured. I don't understand. I don't know what would the headlines be. And knowing South African media and how dishonest they are, you know that the whole thing would have been turned around. But thankfully, to independent media, thank God now we have the internet. We no longer depend on these newspapers to tell us what happened. Because if we're still relying on the newspapers, I'm sure even by now the story would have been presented either way around. But there were people there who actually took videos and proved it, that those people, they went to the EFF headquarters armed. They didn't even make an appointment to go there. And you can't just walk up at another political party's headquarters and you expect it to be given flowers and to be kissed. The EFF supporters and its staff, they had to defend themselves. And I'm sure this is what Steenhuisen wants. This is what he wants. Because I'm sure when they clip that video, they're only gonna post it where Marshall Dlamini and his EFF staff were actually attacking these guys. They're not gonna show it when these guys actually arrived to the EFF headquarters to start the chaos. This is why we've been saying, like, it's so dangerous what John Steenhuisen is doing, because he's not actually uniting the country as he pretends. He's not. He's saying that Julius Malema wants to divide the country, but that is exactly what he's doing. Because if you present misinformation, that's what you are doing.
Let one day when he's bored, try that nonsense he has been doing everywhere. Come and try it. We don't care whether even that day you would have rented black people to march with the DA. As long as you're wearing a DA t-shirt to the EFF office that day, in a disrespectful manner, you will know what the EFF is. Let him try it. He must bring that one with a wrinkled Botox face
Helen
with
Zille.
him when they come here. We'll teach them. Here is not a place where we're scared of a white man here. Yeah. It's the only liberated zone in South Africa. Yeah. No white man comes taking chances here. Those ones who came earlier, they must thank their God. They must try it again. They must thank their God. It's not a playful area here. You can argue your politics wherever you do. Don't come here. We never go to anyone's offices. We never interfere with anyone's programs. But we are not going to be undermined. We've got everything we need to protect this office. Everything. And we'll defend it with our lives.
Mm-hmm.
There is no song, kill the poor, kill the farmer. That's a chant. We over-explained it in court. If you have a problem with it, go to the records of the courts.
It's funny because they no longer want to listen to the courts. When Helen Zille win court cases and when DA wins court cases, people are told to respect the courts and obey the rule of law. But today, because the courts have ruled against them, the courts are wrong. We've also heard that Jacob Zuma is coming back to South Africa. Apparently, he's already back. I'm not sure about that. The same people who are disrespecting the courts are going to tell us to respect the courts, because now they know that we might, there's a slight chance of us actually taking Jacob Zuma back to jail. So what is it that we are going to tell the people? They told us, even 2 years back, during when Jacob Zuma was arrested then, they told us to respect the courts. Everyone was told to respect the courts, the rule of law. No one is above the law. But today they are taking the matters to international bodies because they can't stand it when the law is not in their favor. These are the kind of people who we are dealing with in South Africa. These are the kind of the party that we are dealing with in South Africa. It's a mess. It's a mess because they want to apply the law when it suits them. When the DA wins cases against the ANC, we are told to respect the courts and understand that no one is above the law. Even right now, some of these people have already started talking about no one is above the law, but they are still fine with John Steenhuisen going to international bodies to try to disturb and actually interfere with our elections. They are fine with that. With Jacob Zuma, we are told to respect the laws, but right now with Julius Malema, it's like, no, the laws are wrong. We have to involve international bodies. So they actually want to dictate how things should be done in South Africa. It doesn't matter how hypocritical it is. It's rules for thee, but not for me. You can respect the courts, but I cannot respect the courts. This is why South Africans right now, they feel so insulted by what the DA has been doing. They are even trying to force the president to release a statement condemning Julius Malema. They know that if the president released that statement condemning Julius Malema, you know what that would mean. It would mean that their claim against Julius Malema, their illegitimate claim against Julius Malema would be valid in front of the United Nations Human Rights Council, because they would even say that we've got certain political parties, leaders, we have some civil society groups, and even the president of South Africa is agreeing with us. So this is what they are trying to do. They are trying to bait the president to actually do their dirty work. And I'm happy that the president is ignoring these people.
Don't be lazy to read, man, and ask me the same thing all again and again and again. And I won in court. The court said there's nothing wrong singing kill the poor, kill the farmer. When do we respect the judgments of the court? And when do we disrespect the judgments of the court? When they favor Helen Zille, we must respect them. When they don't favor Helen Zille, we must not respect them. There is a court decision that must be respected. Those who have appealed it, they must go and fight it in court. We won, and we shall sing this song in line with the court decision. The court of South Africa, an independent court, has made a declaration on this matter and is closed. This is sponsored outrage by Helen Zille. You know, black people, they are some black, clever blacks who are told by Helen Zille to get angry. Yo, Helen is angry, now we must be angry also. They wait for a Magogo with a wrinkled Botox face. How do Botox and wrinkles go into... That's a face of a devil. A devil. Botox with a wrinkled face. Pretending that she's angry. If Helen Zille was genuinely opposed to this, I don't even want to talk about that illiterate John Steenhuisen. If Helen was opposed to this for real, why didn't Helen join the case? Why didn't the DA join the case when I was taken to Equality Court? Because...
And I'm sure John Steenhuisen is butthead, man. I mean, this guy has been speaking about Malema for past, like what? Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. For like 5 days. And Malema can't even acknowledge him. He's only addressing Helen Zille. I wonder how it feels. Talking about someone for 5 days, and when is that chance to actually respond, they don't talk about you. Because that's how much they don't respect you. Nobody respects John Steenhuisen. I will say it even now, the DA needs to make a change, and they have to make it very fast. Because John Steenhuisen is taking the parties to stone ages. The DA is gonna die under John Steenhuisen. The DA will die under John Steenhuisen. This is the worst DA leader they've ever had. Even the way he talks. That's why John Steenhuisen, he's so naive. He can go out there in public and say that EFF supporters are in a cult. He can't even understand, he can't even draw the line between insulting the leaders of the political party and insulting the masses. Because when you go out there and start saying that the EFF is a cult, you are actually insulting the people who are the members of the EFF by saying that they can't think for themselves. But John Steenhuisen is not smart enough to even understand that. He can't even grasp that. This is the worst DA leader in years. And they're not going to say anything about him, mainly because he's white. But the truth has to be said, John Steenhuisen is the least likable DA leader they've ever had in years. He's the least. Even this whole stunt that he pulled about United Nations Human Rights Council is not even going to last. Before even September, people would have forgotten about him and the DA. But guess what? The people are still going to talk about Julius Malema. They're still going to talk about EFF, and they're still going to talk about President Ramaphosa and the ANC. And parties like Patriotic Alliance and Action SA, they are really out there trying to garner support by actually following their policies. The DA does not want to discuss policies. That's why they don't want to discuss politics. They don't want to compete with numbers. They don't want to compete with ideas. That's why they want to take their political opponents to jail or even throw them out or maybe possibly deregister the EFF. That's what they want to do. It makes no sense because even if the EFF is no longer, it does no longer exist, it doesn't mean that the DA will get those votes. People have many choices. Right now, people can see right through the DA. People have many choices. People are going to look at many parties before they even vote for the DA. The ANC and the EFF are the only parties that have solid bases. These parties are sure that they're gonna get some votes next year. But when it comes to the DA is all over the place because of the leader John Steenhuisen. John Steenhuisen is the guy is not even charismatic. He's not funny. He's not even likable. When people see the DA leader, people can't even bear the thought of voting for John Steenhuisen. No one can bear the thought of voting for John Steenhuisen, mainly because of how he speaks, how ignorant he always sounds, and the things that he say. This the guy wants us to respect South African laws when DA and Helen Zille they are winning cases, but when they lose cases, they no longer want us to respect the laws. And this guy wants to tell us that he wants to be the president of South Africa. So how can you be the president of South Africa whereas you don't even respect the laws of South Africa? It makes no sense.
I now know how they operate. Look at Adrian Basson. He just goes on a rampage to a point where he went to the dustbin to clean articles of 2011. This is what we said about Malema in 2011. You can clean them the way you want, Adrian. I defeated you.
Yes, he was even tweeting about VBS, man. He was even tweeting about VBS, and it's funny because there are people who still believe that the EFF was involved with the whole VBS thing. But till today, not even a single member of the EFF has been questioned about VBS. But this is exactly what happens when you follow South African media. You live in an hallucination stage. You can't even differentiate what's right and what's wrong, what's real and what's not. Because Adrian Basson knows that he can tweet anything that he wants. He knows that he has his gullible, ignorant supporters who are going to believe everything he says. This is the reason why the guy has been in existence for such a long time. Even though we know that he's not a credible journalist, everybody knows that he's not a credible journalist. But he's been here for such a long time because he represents the mainstream. He represents what the mainstream media is actually about, spreading lies and misinformation.
FNB Stadium was full to capacity. I could imagine your face, Adrian, pink on the screen. Angry that a man you hated filled up FNB Stadium beyond capacity. You tried to destroy me with those 2011 articles. You failed. Why would you destroy me now? Why would I be destroyed by Adrian Basson now? He left Cape Town. Adrian Basson works in Cape Town. This weekend he was here in the office harassing the staff of the News 24 and saying to them, you can't say everything was successful. Find something. Find something. You are going to look for something against them. Anything that we can use against them. Then they told us, Vuyani tweeted about it. He went back to the staff and said to the staff, who told them? Who told them that I'm here? Who told them? Everything Adrian is doing in that office, we get it toe for toe. He thinks those staff members like him. They are tired of his racism. They too are tired of his racism. They've been arguing with him. Adrian, it was successful. It's enough. Let's just acknowledge it. Why do you want us to write things that didn't happen? And the fighters have been calling for us to call for the banning of News 24 in EFF activities. I don't think we must ban them, Shep. We must harass them through success. They must come here and see the cakes. After here, there is music, News 24 music. And then there are drinks after. For all of you, drinks, including News 24, you can drink. You must come here. We are going to invite you here to remind you when you enter that beautiful building that we failed. This is a reminder. We're inviting you we invite you to remind you of how much you failed and how much you are going to fail. Racism will never triumph, not in South Africa. And Adrian Basson is a racist small boy who will never succeed against us. We're not going to ban any News 24. Abatlemo barekire mudimu abela diyo manabarna re lebeletse manaba News 24. Mudimu abela diyo. AWB they are excited. Don't worry about them. The EFF members are capable of defending their own organization and their own office. They will defend it with everything. For sure, you all know them, how fearless.
And guys, we know that the EFF headquarters was attacked by those guys, by those white guys who were armed yesterday. But what I really find it interesting is that none of these guys, like John Steinesen and Pastor Kenneth Meshwe, Pastor Kenneth Meshwe and the leader of Freedom Front Plus, and all these people who've been talking against Malema and what he did and what he said. None of these guys, they've actually come out and condemned those people for trying to barge in into the EFF headquarters. It's really surprising, guys. Those guys, they tried to forcefully enter the EFF's headquarters. They got their asses beat, and today no one condemned them. No one condemns them. So is it okay if white armed people come just started barging into these political parties' headquarters? Is it okay? Is it okay if these guys started now knocking on doors, kicking doors down? Is it okay? Because I thought that John Steenhuisen would come out and be like, okay guys, I know that I've said that the white people right now are in danger in South Africa, but don't go out there and start provoking people. Because what they did right there was to provoke the EFF. And they got exactly what they want. They got their asses kicked. But they provoked the EFF, and no one said that you guys, what you did is wrong. Because everybody knows what those guys did is wrong. Even if I'm not happy with the ANC, I cannot take my gun and start going to Lutuli House to try to intimidate everyone there. If I get killed or if I get injured, it's my fault. Because I'm the stupid one. That's why no one actually had remorse for those white guys, because they are the stupid ones. They are the ones who went to the EFF's headquarters. No one invited them there. They didn't even book an appointment to say that we're gonna come in the headquarters. So why didn't Kenneth Mishwe release a statement condemning those guys for going to the EFF headquarters? This is the kind of hypocrisy, guys, that we are talking about. These guys are hypocrites. These guys are hypocrites. We need to see that these guys are hypocrites.
Those people are. Were the ones who were always saying to the hey, wait, man.
Really, guys? No one. None of these political parties that have been condemning Malema for this, condemning Malema for that, none of them actually condemned these guys for going to EFF's headquarters. Just imagine if one of them was killed or something. Imagine if one of them was killed. Can you imagine what would the headlines say? The EFF cult members brutally killed a white person. That is exactly what would the article say. They would ignore the fact that these guys, they went to EFF's headquarters uninvited, and they were armed with guns. Unfortunately, EFF can defend itself. But what about condemning those guys? No one. Even the newspapers today are still talking about the regular things. They're not even talking about them. Because they think it's okay for anyone who disagrees with the EFF to go to the EFF's headquarters with a gun and start threatening people all around the place. They think it's okay, and it is not okay. It is not okay. As much as we can disagree with the Freedom Fund Plus, as much as we can disagree with the AfriForum, you can disagree with the DA, but you cannot take your gun and start going to the DA's headquarters to threaten people there. Once you go to their headquarters, they have every right to defend themselves. And that is exactly what the EFF did.
But otherwise, they are forever ready. Now you went to see them outside. No one called them. You guys reported that there is a situation at the EFF office immediately. But what? And then they came here. They were not invited by, and none of us called anyone to bring anyone here. Our security is always tight in the office. In most cases, they are in the basement, and that's why you don't get to see them. But when there are such threats, then they have to come out. Why? We try equally to make sure that the office is not intimidating as such and is user-friendly and accessible. But when such people now come with such threats, they are left with no option but to come outside. What have I done? Where is the recourse? What happened to listening to the other side? No court has ever found us guilty about any wrongdoing. No, you are a pep, you are not good for our image, close the account. You know, this song Kill the Boer, if it had any negative connotation and incitement, it should have done it in the 90s. It had all the reasons to do it in the 90s. It still hasn't done it. So why would it do it now? Because I really don't know what you're talking about, saying now the environment is so, let's say, sensitive to a point that this might incite. Now, when it...
Sensitive to who?
Couldn't do it when de Klerk was killing our people in Buipatong. That's where this song should have incited violence. It still didn't. So, to say to us, don't sing this song because it belongs to the 90s, and you are asking me to forget my history, I will not do that. I will not do that. It's...
John Steenhuisen doesn't want you to forget your history. He actually wants to criminalize your history. That's why I said that the South African courts cannot allow him with this, because he can start with this chant. Then what's next? What is it next that they are going to find offensive? If they are allowed to get away with this chant, then it sets a very dangerous precedent, because they can ban everything that they disagree with, and this is what we cannot accept in South Africa. We cannot, because I understand what this is going to mean. Because before you even know it, ANC will be told not to sing their struggle songs. And those are the songs that keeps their base alive. Those are the songs that really remind them where the ANC comes from. So you cannot come here and start telling the ANC not to sing their struggle songs. You cannot come here and start telling the EFF not to sing struggle songs. Because the members of the EFF they were also affected by the struggle as much as the members of the ANC were. So you cannot tell black people generally in South Africa not to sing struggle songs. You cannot.
This song is part of my history. It's where I come from. I use this song to remind myself of what we've gone through. And we've emphatically and repeatedly said the Boers and the farmers do not refer to individuals, but refer to a system of oppression. And I said in court, we used to refer to the police as Boers. When the police entered our township in Sishiu, they were black police. Because anything that represented the system was referred to as the Boers. Even a black person was referred to as a Boer because he belonged to the system in a form of a police person. So, from its inception, it has never been targeted at individuals. It has always been targeted at a system of oppression. And our people understand it for what it is. If we had intentions to kill anyone, we had 100,000 people under our nose. After chanting it, we would have all left that stadium in unison to go and kill the white people. But our people understand it, that it doesn't mean what these people are saying it means. So it's more relevant now, especially where you've got a problem of youth political apathy. The youth need to know what we went through, and they can only know through political education, through political songs, through political literature, that this is a system that is unacceptable, and we must stand up and participate politically to avoid the return of that system.
So guys, Please tell me what you think about the response that Julius Malema had for Helen Zille, Adrian Basson, John Steenhuisen, and Elon Musk. Please don't forget to hit that like button, and the most important part, guys, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. My name is Thomas Mabaso, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.